Hi, John Gabriel again for EFRAC Systems. Today we want to talk about some practical things that you can do to reduce your CO2 emission footprint. If you read or listened to our article about CO2 emission basics, you know that big business and industry aren't necessarily the culprits they've been made out to be when it comes to carbon emissions. All industry exists in support of the needs of a society. So in the end, it's all of the individuals and families put together that drive the engine of industrialization around the globe. Every single time you turn on your air conditioner or drive your car, especially if you drive it to the store in order to purchase food or anything else that you don't make, you're feeding the things that some folks say is the beast. Now, if you live on a farm and get your electricity from off the grid by using a wind turbine and grow everything you eat and build your house out of hay bales, then none of this applies to you. Unfortunately, hardly anyone does that in the Western Hemisphere. Even if you tried to go completely green, you need to know that even the goats and chickens and cows have a very natural level of CO2 emission output that simply cannot be avoided. Every bovine burp, every pass of goat gas, every chicken breath contains the stuff. And getting rid of every carbon-based life form is just silly. But what we can do is work on balancing output with what the planet can handle. So, while almost every living thing has some CO2 emission level, the real key is that those natural levels are completely manageable by the ecosystem. It's when humans artificially raise their carbon footprint by using energy not naturally available that it becomes more than the local plants can convert back into oxygen. That may sound a bit too simplistic, but the elephant in the room when it comes to emissions is energy. Every time you use electricity, you participate in a process that produces some level of CO2 emission that's greater than if you didn't use electricity. Every drop of gasoline that burns in your car engine converts stored energy in one form of hydrocarbon into other byproducts, one of which is carbon dioxide, among a long list of other things. Every time you burn a log in a fireplace, or light the natural gas in the fireplace, or turn on the central heat in your home, you're using more energy and adding to your carbon footprint. Now, it's not the electric company that does all the extra CO2 emission stuff. It's you. It's not the textile industry. It's not big oil. None of those businesses would even exist without there being an economic demand from thousands or even millions of people. So until and unless we all turn back the clock 500 years and go back to a pre-industrialized type of society, we're never going to be carbon neutral again. The problem with that sort of thing is that without all of those things that we take for granted, sewer systems, heating and cooling, fast transportation, then the quality of life and the life expectancy of a society drops drastically. We live much longer and have a lot easier lives than our ancestors even just a century ago. But there are steps that both individual families as well as industry itself can take to find some balance between sound ecological responsibility and extended life expectancy. You don't have to kill the planet just to live longer yourself, and by vice versa, you don't have to kill yourself to save the planet. And the easiest place to start is by doing a lot of little things to reduce your overall energy consumption. Saving water is so easy it's almost criminal not to do it. Replacing all your shower heads and faucet aerators will cut your water waste in half. A few minutes thinking and planning will keep you from having to make that extra trip in your car to the store and save you money spent on gas in the process. Turning the hot water heaters down, setting the thermostat a couple of degrees cooler or warmer, it all adds up to a big reduction in your use of energy. The best side effect of all this is that you'll also spend less money as a result. Water that's not so hot and a shower head that uses less hot water means a lot less water that gets heated and a lower electric or gas bill. Fewer trips in the car to the store, and you're not just driving your dollars down the tubes. A little less here, a little less there, and your energy costs drop right along with your energy consumption. But the second thing you can do makes an even bigger difference, and that's by being smart and getting involved with smarter ecological solutions. A whole lot of the ideas coming out of the global warming sector are pipe dreams at best and foolish at worst. They either won't work or are flat out lies and propaganda. But there are things out there that can really have a huge environmentally positive impact, both in industry and on the individual level. So while recycling is a good thing, it won't have nearly the impact of a big shift from gasoline to natural gas engine fuels. And industrial processes such as our own CO2 separation system for the gas industry can do more than removing hundreds of thousands of cars from the roads. In other words, there isn't any sense in wasting your time and effort taking drastic personal measures in the wrong direction when there are great solutions for the environment that don't require us all to go back to living in grass huts and dirt floors. You can contact your local representatives to support industry requirements that really work, as well as challenging cities to allow things such as gray water usage on lawns and gardens. Take the time to find out where our energy production or use is silly and take care of those first. Ignore things that aren't plausible and pursue things that have a big impact. And learn enough to be able to tell the difference, and you'll be well on your way to lowering CO2 emission levels all over the planet.